So I had already done my whole face, including this eye, and I was like, why didn't I just film that? So I just decided to take off this eye, and I'm gonna start fresh for you guys so you can see everything that I'm doing. So first thing, I'm obviously gonna fix this because I had to wipe this all off and re-prime my eye. And today I'm using the ColourPop No Filter Concealer, and this is in the shade Fair Neutral. So I'm just going to put a little bit more of this under my eye since I had to wipe some off. And then I'm also going to put this on my eyelid to prime my eye. This is really important when you're doing eyeshadow because it helps your eyeshadow stick and just last that much longer. I usually always use a concealer, but they do make special eyeshadow primers as well. But I like using a concealer because it covers up any redness or veins that I have on my eyelid. And then I'm going to go and set under my eye and my lid with the Coty Airspun powder. And this stuff, I just picked this up. I know a lot of people use it, but I just picked this up a couple weeks ago. And I've been using this instead of my Laura Mercier powder, and I love it so much. It's like so finely milled that it just like, it just sets into everything so nicely. Okay, so I'm just taking some of this on my damp beauty sponge, and I'm setting under my eye and as well as my eyelid. And again, this, so if you didn't set your eyelid or use like a flesh toned color to set it with, you don't have to use a loose powder like this. But if you didn't set it, then your eyelid would be, I mean, you can imagine you have concealer on your eyelid, so it would be like really sticky and the shadows wouldn't blend as well. So it's really important not only to prime, but also to set it with some sort of powder or eyeshadow that's skin colored or something like that. So for this look, I'm going to be using the BH Cosmetics collaboration with Carly Bible. It is so pretty. I love it. I've been using it a lot. Actually, I just picked it up not that long ago, but I've been using it a lot because I think it's beautiful. And I think it's going to be a great palette for me to practice doing some looks for my wedding day, because it just has like really soft pinks and neutrals, and yeah, I just think it's really pretty. Alright, so it doesn't have the names of the shades, but so first things first, I'm going to go in with this shade right here. And I'm just going to take this on my Morphe, shoot, I think it's the R37. I'm just going to dip into there, tap off the excess, and I'm just going to put this right into my crease and blend it back and forth, as well as doing some circular motions. And as you can see, I have a really light hand here. I find, for me at least, it's easier to have a light hand if I hold the brush further back. If I hold it up here, it's kind of like, it's just like a natural instinct to push harder and put more pressure on. So again, I'm just picking up a little bit more of that shade and tapping off the excess. Really, the most important thing with eyeshadow is making sure that everything is well blended. It's important to do this because it will just make your eyeshadow look 10 times better, and you can practice this, and honestly, I just taught myself this, so if I can do it, you can do it. You just have to practice, that's all. Again, I'm just going in with some more of this color, and I'm just building it up a little bit. It's really important to go, you want to start with a little bit of product and just build it up. If you really dig your brush into the eyeshadow and put on a lot at once, it's going to be so much harder to blend out, and it's going to be super patchy, because imagine if I took a lot of shadow on this brush and I just went right in, it would stick mostly to that spot that I went to, and it's just a lot harder to blend out. That looks good for now, and you can see it's very light. It's just to help with, this is what we call a transition color in my crease. And okay, so next I'm going to go in with this shade right here. It's kind of like a mauve-y pink shade, and I'm basically just going to go right over where I went with that cream shade and just blend it out again. I'm basically doing exactly the same thing blending it out, going back and forth and doing some circular motions. And this is also going to be helping to build that transition shade in the crease right there. So again, it's a little bit of back and forth, dipping in and building it up some more. And generally, I would recommend when you do go back into the product and pick up more product, don't go like over here. Unless you're doing like a halo eye or something, generally you want to keep most of the eyeshadow towards the outer portion of your eye. So I usually pick up and I go about here, and then I start to blend it out. And once you've blended some of the product over here, you can drag it in a little bit. And I am dragging this down a little bit further as well than I did with the sort of cream shade that I was using before. Okay, and I'm just building that up. You can see the color is starting to deepen up a little bit. Something for me that I just sort of recently discovered was that I wasn't, with my transition shades, I was not bringing them up high enough. I was really keeping it right here, right in the crease. But for the transition shade, you really do want to bring it up a little bit higher, because that's kind of the point of it. So like as you can see when I'm looking straight forward, you can't see in the crease as much, but you can still see this part of my eyelid a little bit. So you do want to have some shadow up there, because otherwise, and I have done this, I am recently correcting this mistake that I used to make. Oh, mistake in my book. I think makeup, you can do it any way you want, but I wouldn't bring it up high enough, so it would be higher over here and just kind of be like a straight line. So when I was looking straight forward, you couldn't really see any product right here. And so that's something that I'm trying to work on. Obviously, as you guys know, I am just teaching myself. I've never taken any classes or anything, so this is just something that I've learned from watching other YouTubers and just kind of playing around with it myself. But I like to share things that I've learned. These shadows are a bit powdery. They do have some fallout, but I think they blend really nicely, so I don't mind if they have a little bit of fallout. The next shade I'm going to go in is with this shade right here. So as you can see, I'm basically just slowly building up the color and intensifying everything a bit further. So I'm going to take this Moda Pro, I don't know, but this is just the BMX 430 crease brush, and I like this because you can see how it has a bit of a tapered tip there. So I'm going into this darker, it's also like a mauve color, it's just a bit darker, a bit more on the purple side. And I'm going to put this in my crease, but I'm not going to bring it up as high as those other colors were. So this is truly going to stay in my crease and a little bit lower, but I really don't want to bring it up much higher than that. And again, I'm just doing the same thing. I'm dipping in and blending it back and forth and using circular motions. And again, still want to try and keep most of the product in the outer corner of your eye, and then once you've got some of that off of your brush, you can drag it in a bit further. But you can see here how we're building up this color pretty nicely, and it's making that crease, you know, there's a lot more dimension, so you can truly see where the crease of my eyelid is. Then I'm going to pick up my Morphe brush again that I was using before, and I'm just going to go back in and make sure everything is blended out nicely. Alright, and now I'm going to pick up my Morphe E17 brush. It's just a bit denser, smaller tip brush. And I'm going to pick up this dark purple shade right here. And we're going to use this shade to build up the outer corner. So I'm just taking some of that, and I'm keeping this really on the outer V of my eye. And I'm just building it up, picking up more product, building it up. And again, as I'm doing this, I'm gonna go back and blend it out with my other Morphe brush. Back in, pick up some more product. This is the same. I mean, really, eyeshadow is pretty simple. You're just building stuff up and blending it out. Like, really, that's what it comes down to. It just takes practice. I know I'm not I'm not an expert or anything, and I just told you guys about a mistake that I've been making that I'm trying to fix myself right now. So it's a continuous learning process in my mind, and I don't know, I just think it's really fun. So again, you can see I'm building that product up, and then I'm going to go back in and blend it out. And I'm also sort of flicking it out to help build that sort of cat eye effect. The next thing we're going to do is I'm going to take this Tarte, it's just like a Tarte concealer brush, and I think it's Tarte. Yeah, it's Tarte. Just a flat concealer brush, and it doesn't have a name, so sorry. And then I'm going to take some more of my ColourPop concealer and put some of this on my hand. And then I'm going to use this brush to carve out a sort of like a half cut crease on my eyelid. Okay, so now you kind of want to do this part quickly. This is the Dose of Colors Desi X Katie collection. This is what it looks like. And I'm going to take this shade right here, which they say it's best to use wet. So I'm just going to take some of my MAC Fix Plus, and I'm actually just going to spray my finger. Because when I was doing this before, I found that using my finger for this was the best way to do it. I'm just going to go in and put it right on top of this concealer. Okay, and then I'm also taking, this is a ColourPop, also just a concealer brush, and I'm going to spray this. You can just use water too, you don't have to use MAC Fix Plus. I'm going to pick that up and use this to do that inner corner of my eye, and also to do the edges there so I can get a nice clean line. Okay, so putting the concealer on your eye, that is really just going to help make this shadow pop and really stick to your eyelid that much better. So first things first, I'm going to take care of that little mess I made. And I'm picking up some of that shade that we used in the crease, and I'm just going to blend this out. Okay, there we go. Good as new. Okay, so now I'm going to go back into this darkest purple shade that we were using. And I'm just going to put this right on the outer corner of my eye again. And also put some sort of right on top of that edge where the end of the cut crease is. And this is just going to help make it so there's not any harsh lines, and it really just blends in. The colors just blend into each other nicely. So again, I'm picking up my Morphe brush and using that to blend those colors together and buff out the edges. There we go. So now you can see it just looks much more soft, and there's not really any harsh, there's no harsh line where the gold stops and the purple starts. I'm gonna just pick up this concealer brush again and go back into the gold and basically just touch up just like the top part here, because when you blend it out, it can sort of brush away some of that color there. And we just want that color to pop. So the last thing I'm gonna do is pick up my Morphe, this first blending brush that I was using, and dip into that very first sort of cream color, and tap off the excess, and really just go in and make sure that everything is blended out nicely and there's no harsh lines. Next, I'm going to use my Kat Von D tattoo liner, and this is in the shade Trooper. And I'm just going to line the upper, my upper lash line. I'm not going to do a wing or anything. This is really just for the lash band, so you can't see it as much when I put it on. This doesn't need to be a really thick line or anything. Alright, then I'm going to put some mascara on. And I'm just taking my L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise. I love this stuff. Okay, and we're gonna let that dry. And I will just get my lashes ready while this is drying. Would you guys be interested in, or would anyone be interested in me doing a tutorial on how I put on fake lashes? If so, let me know in the comments section. I had a friend ask me, or I had a friend comment to me today that she was like, I can't put on fake lashes, and I know, it's really hard. Whoops. It's really hard at first, but with practice and honestly with a few little tips that I've picked up, I find it to be a lot easier than when I first started. All right, let's see how she is. Okay, now while I'm just sort of letting that dry, we can do the lower lash line. And first I'm going to take this Morphe blending brush that I've been using and dip into that first cream shade we were using. And I'm just going to run this basically along the entire lower lash line. And then I'm going to use this pointed tapered brush that I was using and go into that mauve-y color. And again, I'm going to run this along the lower lash line. Okay, sorry about that, guys. My camera overheated and shut off, and then it wouldn't start recording again for me. So anyway, I just took the light, or the second darkest mauve shade, and I ran that about all the way in, almost all the way into my inner corner. And then I took this pencil brush from Crown. It's the C513. And I dipped into that dark purple shade. And I took this about 3/4, almost halfway in on my lower lash line. And then I took the Morphe brush, the fluffy blending one that I've been using, dipped into that cream shade that we used on the lid, and just used that to blend it all out. And honestly, that's such an important step, doing your lower lash line, because it really just makes everything look so much more cohesive and just that much better. So next I'm taking this NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil, and it's just in the shade Black, or Black Bean, and I'm just going to run this on my lower lash line. Just like so. And then I am putting some mascara on my lower lash line, or on my lower lashes. And then finally, I'm going to take some Prosecco Pop highlight and put some of this on my inner corner and highlight my brow bone a little bit. That is the finished look. Oh, and I forgot to tell you guys what lashes I'm using. These are the Eyelure x Nicole Guerrera #143 lashes. And I got these actually at Walgreens. And I think they were like maybe $7 or $8. And yeah, they are like super fun and fluffy and fluttery, and I really like them. They'd be perfect for going out or just whatever. I'm not going out. It's like 4 o'clock on a Thursday, but I really like these lashes. Anyway, so yeah, this is the finished eye look. I hope you guys like it. I wanted to do, you know, a fun fall look. And oh, and the lipstick that I'm wearing, this is from my BoxyCharm from this month, but it is the Tarteist Quick Dry Matte Lip Paint, and this is in the shade Front Row. So I hope you guys like this video. If you do, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It really means a lot. And please, if you have anything that you want me to do, or like any looks you want me to do, or any products you want me to try out, please leave it in the comment section below, because I want to do videos that people actually want to watch. And so yeah, I would like to hear back from you guys about what you'd like to see. So again, thank you so much for watching, and have a good day or night wherever you are. Bye!